I'm on the page. I'm trying to find like an upload.
Hello and welcome to Semifinal Around the Arc pregame show. We're off the rails. We're off the rails early, but we're going to try to rally it together. Facebook Live, as always, 8 o'clock on a game night. I need to get back onto the stream. We are presented tonight by East Coast Garage Door. I'm Joey Zacco, Ryan, Ellis, Ben, and Matt here with you. Tyler behind the camera watching the Sox. I'm a Red Sox fan, but I hope they lose. I like ruining Tyler's night. Tyler lost last night.
But love when
I'm a fan, but I hope they lose.
Yeah. 4 teams won last night.
He values Tyler's sadness more than his fandom.
4 teams won last night, and they'll be playing tonight in the semifinals. One at 9:15, Redemption Run TMC. One at 10:15, Serial Killers Monstars. Neither team has played. Joel Castillo and Jabril Chisholm did the research for us between yesterday's postgame and today. I said we'd be more prepared. I don't think we are. So we'll just preview those matchups. Comment on the live video while I pull that up.
Which Serial Killers had previously played the Monstars, right?
They have not.
They have not.
Were you listening to what Joey said when he said that they haven't played
Are you
before?
sure about that?
I'm very sure.
Okay.
I checked, and then other people did research as we asked. So you can't hate the assistance, you know.
This is the beauty of live.
So let's start. I know.
Might have been no limit then.
No limit monsters happened, but they are no longer around, so we don't have to talk about them anymore.
Monstars are.
You're welcome. So we'll start with Run TMC Redemption, 9:15. Again, 2 teams that haven't met. I think you were saying earlier 2 teams that play basketball almost the most, and that's not a dig at anybody else. That's just taking like a real 10-foot league approach to this and doing things off the court. What do you mean by that, and how is that going to translate tonight?
I mean, both of these teams kind of seem like your prototypical teams, where some of the teams have players they go to early and often with, and you guys have players like that too. But it's more of a team-oriented basketball where you guys run some set plays. You have guys that know their roles and people that don't step out of those boundaries more so. And the one thing that I also pointed out to you earlier was that you both have probably the best relationship with the refs, which is going to help you in a game that's going to be this physical and this important.
And I think by relationship you just mean not trying to cross that line at times. Even
that's
when
basically
even when things aren't going right,
Yeah.
I think that's where to leave it. But not, I think a lot of teams besides us too, many of the teams are good and everybody has their, bad night, like the Firm had a bad night earlier, where you just feel like they're kind of out to get you. But I think a lot of teams overall do really well. And it's really just kind of human relations in that point. I mean, you can't, yell at a human being for 30 minutes and then be like, hey, but I just got fouled. That's just not how it works when 2 human beings are coexisting, if you will. But anybody else on TMC Redemption?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's going to be a really good matchup because both teams have played really consistently in the past few weeks. Redemption does a lot of things well on offense and defense. They're a really well-rounded team, but TMC has proven to be the same thing. You guys get it done on the defensive end just as much as you do getting the ball in the bucket. So I expect it to be pretty high scoring, but I also expect the defense to be really present tonight.
Jalen Graham wasn't very productive last night, so looking for him to step up.
Yeah, I expect someone like him to have a bad game every. That's probably his first bad game all season long, and I'd be willing to bet he doesn't go back to back games.
So you're saying my team missed his off night by a night, by literally a night.
Yeah,
Rats.
I think so.
Rats. That's not. Good.
And I think his teammates are ready to step up too. They all seem just as hungry as he is. Like we were talking about in the preview that I wrote this morning.
Ben,
plugging that. I was talking about Scott Corchard and how he's had to bounce back from that ankle injury, and that's going to be really important tonight, too, to see how involved he is on both ends of the floor, because, like I said in the article, he's like the floor general for them. He makes things happen on both sides of the floor. So.
And then, Matt, I'll throw you the second game, Serial Killers Monstars. What about that game? Again, they haven't played each other. But, what stands out? I know we have, Reggie and Mike Davis has been a big one. I saw people today talking about Corey and Mike Davis. A lot of Mike Davis after what he did last night, but what stands out in that one?
Well, Serial Killers are a team that love to shoot from the outside, and they make a lot of those baskets. Monsters, especially from yesterday, they love to drive to the basket. So I think a way that Serial Killers can stop the Monsters is just stop them from driving to the basket. Yesterday they weren't hitting a lot of 3-pointers. Maybe they're not feeling comfortable with that. So forcing them to stay outside, you're going to force some sloppy plays, some turnovers that'll just lead to Serial Killers love to play that game, running up and down the court, leaving players on the other side to just throw the ball down to them. Easy baskets all game long.
Who do you think is going to guard Mike Davis for Monstars? Is that Reggie?
Corey Jacobs probably. Right?
Corey Jacobs?
I think they switch it up, honestly.
Yeah.
I think Corey can take him sometimes. You put a bigger body on him, throw him off a little bit, and then when you want to force him off the 3-point line, you got to put Reggie on him because he can stay with him. So I think he sees a couple different looks tonight.
I'm curious to see, are the serial killers going to keep up that full court press that they've been doing, and if that, how, not redemption, right? Am I right?
No,
Monsters. I keep getting it mixed up. I'm sorry.
It's officially a pregame show.
every time, literally every time. How the Monsters are going to be able to handle that press? That's all I'm trying to say.
I was going to say that the press definitely got to Lob, I think, and wore them down yesterday. Reggie is a pretty good
Ball handler.
way to combat that press.
Yeah, like they got to them because they didn't really have a point guard at Lob 203, and I don't think the Monsters really have a true point guard either. But Reggie can be a de facto point guard, and if he has a game where he doesn't turn it over, if he turns it over under 5 times, this game's going to be very close going into the fourth quarter. But if he does turn it over more than 5 or 7 times, you could see the serial killers have another big night.
Right, serial killers also have that crazy height advantage over Monstars. Monstars don't really have that many tall players, so rebounding shouldn't be a problem for serial killers. You know, which for yesterday, Monstars I think got 10 to 15 more rebounds than Stranger Danger.
Monsters also have a pretty deep team, I believe. They have about 4 or 5 guys that they bring in off, not 4 or 5, 4 off the bench, right? They almost do a full sale when they do subs, so keep them fresh legs, which is probably might be important.
Yeah.
You know,
So do the Monsters actually. I think they both like to go 4 in, 4 out. We'll see how long that lasts if we get into a fourth quarter where it's close. Must be nice to have 8 guys, you know. I wouldn't know what that's like. But I was gonna say, besides the press, the height advantage obviously, but if Antoine Petway is here for the Monsters, that would obviously help. You can comment on the video. Not really sure who else is watching. I know a couple of us have it open, but comment in. I want to do some game picks, and then we can almost wrap it up a little early today, and maybe this will spark something as well. We'll start down there. Do you want to go against me again? Redemption on TMC. Go ahead, Matt.
Before the playoffs started, I would have said redemption, but I might lean towards run TMC now. You know, they've been on a little bit of a hot streak since their 2 losses right before the playoffs.
All right, we got one run TMC. We're already in the positive from yesterday. I love it.
Redemption.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay. Ellis?
Yeah, you can't bet against the MVP, so I'm going to go redemption. Even though they, Run TMC beat the unbeatable yesterday. Or the unbeaten.
The unbeaten prior to. That's all right.
You guys slayed the dragon. You beat Russia, but can you beat Finland? Is the real thing. This isn't even Finland because it's not the title game. But I don't know. You guys neutralized Terrell because you let him shoot from the outside and he went 2 for 10. But their best player is Jalen Graham, and he's one of the better 3-point shooters. So I'm interested to see how you're gonna pick your poison with him. I think Kevin Blake's gonna guard him and disrupt him with the length and the athleticism there, but I'm not sure if you can kind of get away with letting him have his shots when the rest of his team is one of the better 3-point shooting teams in the league. It's
definitely a different matchup today. It definitely doesn't help that we haven't played them before. You know, kind of knowing what Terrell does, knowing how that helps. So it'll be a lot of adjustments. I think for all 4 teams. I think at halftime will be a lot of fun to interview both teams. We're going to be doing that today, so get ready for that. So I think that'll be fun to actually see what they say at halftime, because I think that'll be when the biggest adjustments are made, and I think that will impact, obviously, the second half. But which team adjusts more better? Serial killers, Monstars, what?
More better?
Yeah, I think it's funny to say it like that. Serial killers, Monstars.
Serial killers.
Okay.
Second with serial killers, I got to win the whole thing.
Oh, were we the only 2 that picked serial killers?
I don't know. Maybe
Mike Davis has never lost, right?
That's
Ever?
true.
Ever.
So you can't bet against that.
It's one of the I think he's one of the few
Kevin
players
Rivera
still
didn't lose
playing.
either, and he lost yesterday, but whatever.
Did he play last season?
Kevin
Rivera
Rivera won 2 straight titles with Mike
Same
Davis.
boat.
Yeah.
Okay. Kevin Rivera is now.
It happens. He can lose,
Has
but
now
he's
lost.
not going to lose today.
Okay, you have serial killers as well.
Yeah.
Nice. So it'll be. I think it'll be very fun. I recommend everyone to come out. We're gonna have the highlights on Snapchat 1. I should have said this earlier. We have extra people today, which is nice because we have 1 game going at 9, 1 game going at 10. So we'll be able to have a different perspective on Legacy_Leagues 2 on Snapchat. Hopefully some Insta story stuff. As always, we'll be doing the interviews. They'll be posted around 10 o'clock, and then after the 10 o'clock game as well. 2 halftime, 1 after the game. So we're kind of ramping up the coverage. Hopefully everybody enjoys it, but I think that's about it. Any last comments about the semifinals tonight? We're really almost done. I've been saying it for like a week now.
Last down to the end.
That's it. Exactly a week from today is the finals, April 18th, 9:15 p.m. Next Monday is All-Star Night. I don't know what else is laughing about.
Shout out to Rebecca.
Yo, chill.
I'm just happy that we made it through without too much chaos after how we started.
I was blowing up my spot.
1 week the finals. We'll see who's playing in the finals after tonight, 9 and 10:15 here at InSports. We'll see you on the post-game show Wednesday morning on all of our platforms.
There you have it.